Hi, this is Antminer Repair, and tonight we're going to consider all things, what do you call it? EPROM writers, or really not all things EPROM writers, but all things Hashboard code editors. So you've seen these for sale from various outputs. They're about $300, and I bought one. I bought one with a kit from overseas. You guys probably know where I got this from. But I went to do a hashboard and I still had the power supply on it and it was plugged in, not running, of course, and it just blew it out of the water and I couldn't get to work. And the company I bought it from gave me no support. They just ignored me because they switched to a new website and I wasn't in their customer list, even though I bought this, 4 months ago. So I was without this tool. So tonight I'm going to cover why do you need this tool? Some of you may not. I'm going to cover what this tool really is, the one you buy for $300. I'm going to go across how you wire this or other EPROM reader writers up with the particular cables. I'm just going to show it on video. I don't have a pin diagram. Might make one later. And then I'm going to show you a program you can use also. Now, in the process of taking this apart, I destroyed one of the push buttons. So I had to figure out how the push buttons work. And let me see, I need a needle, I need a pin and tweezers to poke at something, short something out. And I'll be doing that tonight while we work. So, all right. So if you like this content, there is a subscribe button down there somewhere. Please hit it. I am judged by YouTube by my subscriptions. It doesn't cost you any money. I don't think you get spammed. Hope not. But the worst you would get is, hey, I did a new video. There's also a bell so that if you did want to get notified when I do these videos, if you click on that bell, you will get some sort of notification, hey, I did a new video. And the last thing is there is a link for a Discord channel. We've got 271 members as of this recording. It is an active place, let me tell you. If you're interested in beginning to repair these boards, you've got to join this Discord channel because there's people there to give you advice. Some of it might be bad advice, but you've got to determine whether it's good or bad. But several people chime in and usually there's a consensus reached and you've got probably pretty good advice for the most part. Met a lot of people on there. It's kind of a good community already just in the few months it's been up. So pretty incredible response that people needed a place to talk. All right, so that's it. Let's start with that. So I bought this thing and there is a warning on the web page on how to use it saying, hey, disconnect all the power supply. So I think I got lazy. I said, well, the bars are still across on the miner, so it's hooked up, but I've got it unplugged. It should be fine. So I go to write my file, and I'll go into why you need it first after a second. And it just kind of disappeared, and I couldn't get it to work. Little notes to me, it came with a cable that lasted 5 minutes, which is typical. But I could never get it back. It just would start up and say weird things. I could never get it to stay up and stuff. So went quite a while without taking care of this problem, and I finally dug into it and spent some time on it. So let's cover why you need this first. What this does is a hashboard code editor is really an EPROM reader and writer, or what the common term is EPROM programmer. They are as inexpensive as $3 on Alibaba, but you have to wait and then you have to pay shipping. I don't even think it's shipping, but if you wait a month, you get it for $3. There's one that fits in on USB and there's a piece of software that comes with it that can do it. The nice thing about this unit is you can save your EPROM image files on a little flash drive in there, or TF card. And all you have to do is give it power and program the cards while they're in the miner, as long as you take it off that bar. Actually, this unit is supposed to come with a battery, but evidently when you ship it overseas, they remove the battery. I haven't seen a place to mount a battery on this. It sure be nice if you just had a battery powered and it recharged through the USB port, but it doesn't. So be it. So, all right, so let's take a look why you need it. Why do you need it is typically, but not always, when you're repairing hashboards and you put it on a tester, the tester messes with the code in the EPROM. And I'm going to show you an error message that you might get. This error message I'm going to show you is on an S17. I usually work on T17s the majority of the time. So let me show you. Wait a minute. It gives me a choice here. Ah, here we go. This is right off our Discord channel. This is a problem somebody posted. And this was a startup log for an S17. And pay attention to this error right here. Not the FPGA version, but when it says error EPROM info, it just means that what was in the EPROM memory wasn't there. It got wiped out. So I think what happens is Antminer writes when they build these things and program their card, there's an EPROM on there to store memory. And what I read was it stores, or somebody told me, somebody on Discord told me, what was his name? Kutuk told me that the EPROM not only sets the version of the miner, but also some of the frequencies that it's programmed to run at and some other information. It's not much data, but it's there. So when the tester comes along, it kind of blows away. So if you get a board half tested or you got it fixed, you got the problem fixed, your voltages are good, you rip it off the tester and go take it to your miner, you'll get this message and it'll just shut down. It won't run any of the boards. So you're kind of stuck. So like I said, I've been doing without this tool. I've been going to other firmwares. I'm running Brains right now. In Brains, as long as I think you have one card in there with a firmware, it might even work with none. It skips over the EPROM check and you can run it with invalid EPROM information. If you're running stock Antminer software, you're gonna get this error. So what the theory is if you can go read the EPROM off a working miner card, it has all the appropriate data in there, and rewrite it onto the card that it got wiped out on, at least the machines will start up and run it. And it's not a serial number or something. Literally, I'll show you the file. I think I have the file. I have it saved. We can look at it. I'm not sure what all the data is. I don't have the data structures they throw there, but I do know what it looks for is the first, what would you say, 16 bits, which are the first two words in the hex file. So in the Antminer, it looks for 1397 or 9713. Backwards if you've got a byte swap machine. You don't have to know all that. I just used to work on word processors before. All right, so if you get this error, you need to do something with your EPROM or get by going to Brains and set that up for a little while and then go back to Antminer when you get one. So good. So if you bought the one from, you can buy them off Alibaba, they're on Zeus, you can get them all sorts of places. If you bought that one and you blew it out and you can't get support, let me tell you how to get there. So let me start this guy back up. So this is the unit. And I can show you how to run it. I've got it in English now, it's not in Chinese. So actually you might want to go through this and set your unit to English. And I'll show you how. But this is standalone, you buy it, it's pre-programmed, it has a little user interface. And before I run this, it's gonna look really odd because I'm gonna take this all apart. But so I'm sure you've probably peeked under the tape if you own this. And basically there's leftover. Let me get this, I'll just get this there because I want to kind of save the tape if I can. I'll throw away the wrapper. But basically there's this leftover part, which is the socket they use for EPROM. So I started looking at this, and it has a model number and a patent number. So I started searching. I was looking, somebody has to make this. I know it has a program written. I don't know if Zeus or whoever produced this wrote the program in it, whether it was specific to Antminer or anything. So I didn't know that. But it had a nice program. I kind of liked it. But it was in Chinese, so I only knew like 2 menu items. So we're going to unlock that and show you all the menu items tonight. So anyway, it has this, and this is common. This is actually a mount that I think if you're programming an EPROM, you'd actually stick it in there and then do your program and then pull it out. Okay. So the value add that they did for this, I'm going to take the lid off, I think, if I still can. Yeah, I'm going to have to use a screwdriver again and pry it. Let's see here. It's going crazy because I'm doing, there we go, broke it again. All right, so I'm going to take this lid off. And this dude has a nice little screen. And I don't advise you doing this. I broke this. If you see right here, there's supposed to be a switch and there's just a shiny little dot. You don't need to take this apart, but I'm going to show you. I'm going to unplug it. What the heck's in here? And we're going to talk about these wires. I haven't really delved into them. So let me see if I can, I didn't screw this back down. So if I can, it shouldn't pull on this monitor. I don't want to break this, dude. Oh, there it goes. Okay. So I'm going to lose the shell. And this is what we've got. So not going to do anything in here except I have a switch. And we're going to pay attention to these wires. Hopefully I'll, where's my camera? I'll figure out what you can see as these and these, and maybe you can take some screenshots of my video if you want to wire your own. Any EPROM programmer that has this, you'll be able to, if you can see how this is wired, wire it. So, all right. So on the back, this actually has a TF card slot. Still don't see a place where they would mount a battery. I think this is the speaker that beeps when you program. This is the processor. I can't think, maybe under here there used to be a battery and they just put a pad for the screen. I don't know, because this is where the EPROM is. It's kind of like the PIC kit in a way, because it has a square and I don't know, so many ports there. So, all right, so I took this apart saying there's got to be a marking on the circuit board of who makes this. And sure enough, on the back, Sky Pro 2. So I said, well, by that time I had broken it, but said, well, maybe I can find one of these dudes for cheaper. And I've got the wiring diagram here to wire this up. Someone could figure it out. You just get the pins of the EPROM that's on the Antminer and do that. So I took that apart. Now, I'm going to show you. Let's see. This is the unit, what it looks like if you buy it. Now, if Zeus would have just helped me, I probably wouldn't have done this. But, you know, I'm not trying to hide secrets here. So this is made by, I think, a Chinese company or a Taiwanese company. I'm not sure which. Actually, it looks pretty decently made, to tell you the truth, I think. Except for this soldering a wire is kind of cheesy, but I don't know how you get around that. So this is made by a company called co-write.com. This is the Sky Pro 2 USB programmer. And as you see, it has this mount with a mount underneath and this guy to push the, I think this pushes the chip out after you've programmed it. I'm missing this function button, but here it is. You see the display, it has a battery because it's standalone, but ours don't have a battery. And notice they don't have this on the label up here. Somehow they took it off. Not sure. But you all recognize this. This has got the wrong chip on it, and I'm explaining how to set all that up stuff too. So this might be a little bit of a long video, but if you want to know all about this, great. So this is the product. Check out the website. On this website are software downloads. And for the Sky Pro 2, and there you have a Sky Pro 3 that looks pretty good, but I'm not sure I need that hefty of a product. You can go download the software that not only runs it when it's not in auto mode, but runs it and updates the software on here. So if you have the language set to English, it'll actually put English on there, which is much nicer. But actually this thing has a language setting that you can switch over to English right away. So let's take a look at some of the features of this. I just want to let you know this is where you get it. And if you blow yours out of the way, don't take it apart. Go here, download the software, get it installed, plug it in, run their software. It'll fix it. Okay. Unfortunately, I broke mine before that would happen. I've been using it broken. All right, so let me get rid of that. I'm going to stop sharing this. Got a few more different shares to go yet tonight. Let me see. So where do I want to go now? I don't want to wander here. All right, so I'm going to share something else now. Let's take a look at the software you download. And somewhere I should have. No, don't tell me it shut down. Just a second. Let me start it up if it shut down. Come on. Where are you? Oh, it's right there, dummy. You don't see what I'm doing, but I'm doing this. So I think you guys see my window. Let me try that one more time. Let's see, whiteboard. Yeah, it's got to be it. It just doesn't outline it. There, now it's outlining it. It wasn't outlining it before. All right, so this is a Windows 7 box. What I'm going to do is, once you run the installer, which is, I think it's here. It was in a zip, and then you extract an exe, and then what exe do you get? You get this guy. And it's just a quick installer. It'll install your the driver for this tool. It'll install a couple pieces of software. I don't know what this online is thing, but this is the software. So if you start that up, there it is. In fact, it still remembers my Antminer bin file. This is the contents of the EPROM. There's not much, but if you check it out, there's 13 and 97. In the EPROM. This is just a hex representation. It looks like there's another byte that's probably 1, 16. This is probably hex. So this is probably 16 here. And then it's doing some other stuff down here. I'm not sure what this is. And then it looks like, yeah, there might be a couple other things, but this is the binary file of a T17. So if you notice down here, it says device is not connected. Okay. So, but it does have some commands, read, write, verify, and then the device. And if you go to the device, well, I'm not going to go there. It's not connected. But I want to show you. I'm going to go ahead and plug in the device. And I'm not going to show you me plugging in the device, but let's get it started up and on here. So you should see the status change. So I just plugged it in. It says device is connected. If you would have blown away your device by connecting it when there was power, the power bars were still on there, this would have immediately started updating the device and fixed it for you. Mine had not only lost its program, but the TF card was gone, so anything I stored was not there. So, all right. So even if I didn't use the device, I'm going to plug in a hashboard here, just so we have a hashboard too. Just a T17 hashboard. Maybe it won't detect that. I don't know. I don't think so. All right, so I just plugged in a T17 hashboard. The other question is, I'm gonna stop here, is you got to set this up on what kind of EPROM. How did I know this? How did I figure this out? Well, if you look, I'll show you where the EPROM is. So I'm gonna stop and I'm gonna go, let's use the microscope and I will show you. Well, first, let me show you on the board. I'm playing musical cameras here. Let's see here. Let's choose this camera first. All right, so let's take a look. Sorry, may not be. I got to raise this up. So we got, oh, I have it zoomed in. Hang on just a second. So one man show here. And I'll focus it for you. All right. So this is part of a T17 board. You see I have the tool taken apart here. It's kind of running and it's plugged in here. You just plug it in the port. So this is a Hashboard layout. The EPROM is actually right next to the PIC chip. So here's the PIC chip, and there's a little 8-legged monster right next to there. So for those of you who think buying a PIC kit will update the EPROM, I don't think so because I couldn't get it to work. Maybe some of you have. There is stuff that can be refreshed on the PIC chip if it wipes out this program. So the PIC kit works very well for that. You'll use these ports over here. I wonder if those are EPROM ports too. I don't know. That might, I'm not sure. But the EPROM is that little chip. Okay, I'm gonna come in closer now. Let's switch cameras. Yeah, it's gonna be fun. I'm gonna shut off the camera just for a sec and move around here and get my handy dandy, hopefully, microscope out. Let's see here. Okay. Please turn on. Ah, you see a heat sink there. Okay, good. All right. I can turn on some light here. Probably will. Oh, it is on. I just had to turn down low. All right. So if I'm going to try to make you seasick here, but let me see if I can. This is the farthest out I can get on the microscope. But there is the PIC chip right here. This guy. And right next to him is here. And if you take a look, you can read the code on that. Now that's a different code than I read last time, but ATH936. 02. ATH93602. Let's check a different port out. I think that's it. It's probably it. I'm just mixed up. It could be I'm mixed up. I get that way sometimes. What's this guy say? ATH81302. So I think this is what I used. I think they're compatible. So I started digging around. Where's an ATH1302? ATH1302. So what I did is I kind of remembered this. I found a 24 EPROM and I started looking, and actually this is what it is, an AT24C02. I forget what this is. This was, sorry, I'm not going to show you the video, but I'll reread what I found. The one that I first showed you was an ATH93602. Evidently the O2 matters, evidently. So this EPROM is a little bit different version. Maybe it's been replaced. I don't know with a different chip, but this is what I'm using and it's worked. So I found this out. And so what I can do, it's hooked up. I think it's still on. Yeah, it seems to be. Is I can go read what's on this board. This board might not have good code on it because it's been tested. Let's read it. Yeah, check that out. This has bad code on it. This is what the tester does, man. That's all. FFFF is like -1, -1s all the way through. I mean, this is probably the default configuration. So this board I'm working on, obviously it's laying around. So yeah, so how do you get the good one on it? Well, thankfully I've saved it off in a file. And you guys, if you use PicKit, you've used stuff like this. But so I can open this guy up, and I saved, hopefully, there's a T17 EPROM. File.bin. So I went to the open command. I'm going to open up. This is off a good card. This is off one that was running in an Antminer. So I pulled it off and saved it. And I don't know what to set here. I just kept it like it is. And then I restored it. So that's the good image. Now I'm still connected to that card. And so I'm going to write it. You hear that? And then I'm going to verify it. One time I had a verify not work, but this time it was. Okay. I don't know about this pinout. Let's check this out. So this actually tells you what to pin. And actually, if you look at probably the layout of that chip, here you go. And it tells you which wires to put which. So instead of me showing you wires, why don't you download this program, set this chip, and it tells you how to pin it out. So it's really telling you to, hey, set this is probably pin 1. Set this up in the holder like this, and I'll program it for you. So anyway, this probably corresponds. If you look up at that chip and go look at the data sheet, you can see which pin is this wire. Yeah, but it doesn't tell you how it gets to the port, so I still need to tell you the wiring. Okay, so anyway, you've all seen this before, great. I just want to show you the program and how to fix the unit. Now, let's go look back at the unit, because since I was in English on this, it programmed it in English, but I think there's a way to change. I just want to let you run through the menu items, and there's something interesting that you can do with the files. So I'm going to stop sharing, and we're going to set up this guy again and see where we're at. Okay, so we're in some pieces. So I'm going to put the card away and bring this over here, move my microscope out of the way, and then move my camera in. That's how I do stuff. I'll see if I can get close up. That was glaring before, so we're gonna figure that out again. I kind of got to do it this way. So the way I did that was look back, I think. Not that way, how about this way? Okay, you can kind of see it, I just need to focus it. So if I stay, it's backwards. Let me focus this dude up. It might be sideways. You have to live with it that way, but. Okay. So what you guys are used to seeing is this. And let me hide my camera controls here. So what you're used to using is pressing the function button, and then, let me see if I can get this centered. You press this function button that's missing on mine, and then you have this menu, and you go down to 3 to get EPROM, and it's read, and then write. And then when the right one isn't really right, it's not that way in English, but then you press the OK button again, which is up here, and this is oriented like this, basically. I'm doing this. No. Yeah, it's just backwards, sorry. So, so that's the process. So let's do this on this board. If you notice, I've already put that file on there, the same file that was on my computer. And I'll show you how to do that from your computer, which is kind of cool. You can just load it up. You don't actually have to read them to source them from here. Once you set this to English, you can do it. So, and maybe you guys has got yours in English. Maybe you had enough Chinese or had enough instruction. All I had was on the Zeus website. Okay. So the way I have to cause the button to go to the menu is I have to hold the button down with my tweezers. I'd really like to fix this button. I'll see if I can buy one. You just click on this and it'll go in the menu. Whoop. All right. So here's the secret menu. Chip. And if you buy one of these just raw, you'll want to go in and set this chip up. And it's just like the software, actually. If I hit OK here, I can try detecting it, and it didn't detect it. So it's chip select, chip detect, force detect. I actually had to go into chip select, and I set the same settings. You go down this menu and go over. So it's 24 EPROM Amtel AT24CO1. And so I set that, and let's see. Oh, it even tells you the pinout on this dude, which is kind of crazy. And then it goes back to the beginning, and I have to short circuit again. So that's the first menu item, which is kind of interesting. This video is going to get boring if you guys already have English on this and know what to do. So the only thing I'm going to do besides this is show you close-ups of the wires so you can figure this out. Yep. Can switch. Okay, so the next one is operation. Let's see. I go down arrow with the operation, right? If I go into operation, this is write, verify. This is identify. I'm not sure what it does, to tell you the truth. So I don't think I want to do that. Let's go ahead and go back. I don't even think I can go back. I have to hit the function button to get out of here again. So anyway, I think this is an automatic writer. Automatic, it does something. So. Oops. Sorry, I wish I had the button. So the next thing down here is the third menu item that the Zeus program shows you to do, the Zeus video or documents. So if I scroll down the file and hit OK, you have a couple choices here. You can read a new file and set the name, and I think you guys have all done that. Is you go to a good board running, plug it in, read it, and then this menu thing comes up and you can name it and it saves it. Okay, that's one thing. To write it, you actually just open the file. You open a file that you saved, and then it kind of disappears to the user interface. So let's do that. Let's rewrite this EPROM code. I'm going to hit open. There's only one file in here, so it's selected. So I'm going to say open that. And then when I click it again, this is when it writes. You'll hear it beep, maybe. Hopefully you heard that. My microphone's a little wet. So that's how you write it. The read is a little bit different. I think you guys have seen it. You've had to have had, I guess. Unless I was just playing stupid and didn't get this far. All right, so let's go back in the menu and check out some other stuff I discovered on this. Sorry about this. Oops. Got to be quick. All right, I don't know about the serial number. Haven't explored that one. Don't know about the project. Don't know. It actually, because you could do mass writes, maybe that other software that I showed you has the concept of a project. I haven't researched that. So that's 5. 6 is chip copy. Not sure what that does either. It's too hard to kind of explore with my user interface. The next thing is card reader, which is interesting. I want to come back to that. That's 7. I don't know what virtual communications is. I don't know. You try it out if you want. Here's F9. So go down to the 9th menu item, you go in and set language to English. Okay, it should say English in there, I hope. And then 10 is setting the date, I could care less about. And Explorer, I don't know. Other, all right, let's go on other and see what's in here, just for the heck of it. Then I want to go back to one thing. Oh, so I can do brightness, I can do the sound. Yeah, okay. Now I got to short it out. So that's the setup of the actual hardware. I think they did kind of an interesting job designing this. So let's go back out to the main menu here. Hang on. It was there. Okay. We're going to go back up. The one thing of note I wanted to show you. Oh, about. We're going to go back up to card reader. Now I found this kind of interesting. So this is the 7th menu item. For those of you guys still running in Chinese. If I hit OK here, it just says waiting. And what it is I'm going to go off this screen. Hang on. what's pretty cool about this is it actually loads the TF drive onto your system. And it should, anyway. Doesn't look like it did. Let's make sure it did. Well, it's supposed to. Yeah, I'm working on a, there it is. I'm working on a virtual machine and it didn't register. So there it is. I used a TF card that used to be my Brains OS, but I rewrote it. And so in here is a data folder. Guess what? There's my bin file. So if I had a bunch of EPROM files, I could load them in here and have them ready and just load them up on this card. So this is the actual file that I saved to disk before. I copied it in here. It works just fine. Then you have the concept of project, and then you can actually, see language and some other stuff here. So this is what's on the TF card basically, so it loads it up, which is kind of cool. So I just thought I might show that. All right. So that's kind of a tour of the Hashcode editor. And actually, if you haven't bought it, don't know if I'd pay $300, but if you don't want to deal with the wiring, pay your $300. But actually, so I think I'm done with this virtual machine view here. So actually, let me get the video back on. Actually, this is a great soldering practice for you anyway. So I assume if you're able to pull this out of its case, which they are because they have to build them, maybe I can use the, let's see. So there's two wires here. So I'm going to unplug. So you've got the top wire going in the Antminer, the top row. That's this. So let's take a look at this. You've got the top row. So you see in the top row on the left, this is pointing down, or on the right. My video is just opposite, but on the right, there's 3 wires going there, so 4 wires on each. There's 3 wires going in on the top, and 1 actually down on the second row, second pin over. So that's the top one, and then the 3 in the top, okay? So let's follow this to where this is wired on the thing. All right, so this is wired. Let's take a look here. So this is the top one. And let me see the orientation here. This is the side with 3 wires on this outside. Man, it might be better to do a pin diagram for you guys on Discord. But basically, the first wire goes to the second of the 4 down. The second wire goes to the last pin. The third wire goes to the other side, second pin. And the last wire, this was the loaner that was on the second row, he goes to the first pin. Okay. All right, so that takes care of the top cable. It's probably not great to do in video. Okay, so we just did this top cable. Let's look at the bottom cable. The bottom cable, the way it's put in here, sorry, I keep losing my camera, is just all 4, let me see, all 4, I guess it's on the right side, it's under the 3. So they just go all 4 right in a row under those 3 that go in, okay? So let me find the orientation of the red striped one. All right, so here we are. This is the red striped one, and the first, which would be on the outside edge of the connector, goes in pin 4. The next one goes into pin 3 on the left side. The next one goes to pin 3 on the right side. And the last one goes to pin 1 on the left side. You might have to ask me on the Discord channel to make a map. Okay, I'll try to do that. It just takes time. So if you want to do your own, buy a 16, buy one of the ribbon cables the Antminers use, and you're only using the top 3 in the lower left and then the bottom 4. And you put it in that chip socket like what this is supposed to be. I think it's like that, yeah. And it all works. So you don't need to spend 300 bucks, especially if you're going to repair your own Antminers. You got a soldering iron. I've seen these. I saw one for $59, but it looks like on Alibaba, they're running about $100. If you really want to get by cheap, find an EPROM programmer that has that socket. You know how to wire it just by my video. And I think they could be as low as $3 on Alibaba, but if you don't want to wait, Amazon has them for, I think, was it $15 or $30? They had EPROM programmers, and you get the software with them and just run them, and they're not standalone. Okay. Actually, some of them say, offline, so they might. All right. Sorry that was a long-winded explanation, but there's kind of a lot to show you. Hope you enjoyed this video. You can leave comments, but it's better go to Discord. You can talk directly to me most of the time. When you join Discord, be sure to look under the rules first. So you'll go to the link that you get off this video. And the first thing you need to do is go to rules, and there's a green checkbox down there, and that opens up the Discord channel. You need to read the rules. Basically on Discord, we don't harp on people. People are of all experience, from very, very basic beginner, not knowing anything, to very experienced. Don't harp on anyone, and be helpful. And that's the rules of this Discord. So come on in. You should find a good home there if you're trying to repair this. Thank you, and appreciate you watching.